Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to my latest episode of New Album Spotlight, the show where I put a spotlight on a new album in progressive rock that I think you guys will enjoy and that I want to recommend to you guys. Today I have a really good one, an album that's going to be coming out on May 3rd. This is Wheel's Charismatic Leaders. This is a group that formed in 2015 in Finland, an incredible progressive metal group that I've followed and that I love. I believe this is their first full-length record on Inside Out. This is their third album after 2019's debut Moving Backwards and 2020's Resident Human. The lineup here is James Lascelles on vocals and guitars, Jussi Turunen on lead guitar, Mikko Matstia on bass, and Santira Saksala on drums. An incredible collective of musicians, and I've loved their releases up to this point, but I feel like this new one may have risen them to a new level and I think should give them a lot of more notoriety in the progressive metal space. They definitely have a sound that's akin to Tool, I think is the number one reference with a bullet. You can hear a lot of that heavier, hypnotic moments with some really expressive drums and bass and grooves. Really a darker, more melancholy vibe I think you can expect as well. But if you're a fan of bands like Leprous, like Porcupine Tree, even Haken, Opeth, Carnival, this should be right in your wheelhouse. This is definitely a band worth looking into. I'm even reminded of Caligula's Horse that came out earlier this year. That kind of darker progressive metal vibe that a lot of these more modern bands are going for. And this is just a really impressive set of songs. You know, it's not a concept record, but it really has some great punchy songs that just take you on a journey and go from one point to another. I'm really having a great journey with this record as I listen to it more and more. They have these great build-ups where it starts softer and with those kind of tribalistic drums, and they get heavier and more intense, and the riffs get darker and heavier, and it just really culminates in this big epic moment of sound that they do expertly well. So there's just so much great intensity to the music, and I love the vocals. I think the vocals really add a great touch to this, really expressive, lending itself to a lot of emotion. They're able to bring that intensity without having to get into the brutal, dark growls that a lot of other progressive metal bands lean into. And I really think that's a remarkable style choice, and I really love the band for doing it that way, for staying more melodic, but still bringing that intense and fierce emotional power to the music. The album starts with Empire, which is a nice heavy prog metal opening full of crushing riffs and intensity. I believe this was the lead-off single and does an expert job at telling you what to expect from the record as a whole and gets you into that groove and into that energy. Porcelain is one of my favorite tracks, another one they released as a single, a bit more of a methodical track with a great bass groove. Definitely feel that hypnotic Tool-like vibe throughout the piece. But it's so fantastic. There's so many cool build-ups, so many cool musical moments, and great vocal works to ground the piece all together. There's some really interesting melodic twinges and different things that are happening in the sound that you wouldn't expect, that bring a little bit of excitement to your ear. It just slinks along with a really cool groove, morphing and shifting in sound and style as it goes through. I almost detect a little bit of an early 90s grunge era sound to this piece and through different moments throughout the record, which I thought was an interesting choice. Submission is the next track, which is one of the longer tracks on the album, coming up to almost 11 minutes. It starts with this really intricate percussive pattern with some percolating bass grooves. Takes you through a dark ride throughout its whole runtime. There's a more laid-back section in the middle focused on vocals with some effects-laden, almost electronic-sounding drums and fluid guitar work before it really ramps up in heaviness and gives you some stabbing, exciting riffs and expressive guitar soloing. Really cool, long build-up and a great piece to showcase their talent at bringing you on a journey, giving you this ride, and giving it a satisfying conclusion. Saboteur is another heavier track on the record, maybe one of the heaviest. Some gritty riffs and a propulsive quality to the music, more great vocals, and another great journey. It's a longer track, 9 minutes or so long, and it just really is an expressive, darker, heavier track that I really enjoy from the group. Disciple starts with almost like the sound of strings before we get that typical Tool-like hypnotic drum bass guitar combo. Fantastic vocals come in behind this beautiful sonic backdrop. I really like the entrance of these kind of string-like sounds that really bring a new additional element and layer to the music, and the soaring chorus is magnificent on this track. It was the last single that they released before the release of the album is coming up. And I think it's a great indication of what you can expect. It's really compact compared to a lot of the other pieces on the record. This is a 4-minute track, but it's just so beautifully composed and a wonderful addition to the track list. Number 6 is a small acoustic guitar interlude called Caught in the Afterglow before we're given the main course of the record, The Freeze, which is another lengthy track that takes so many elements of what I've come to love from this record and packages them in this perfect mini epic length song. Some great throbbing bass and cool fluid guitar line starts this piece. This is really where you can feel that build, where it starts really slow and methodical, and it builds and builds in intensity and excitement until it explodes and ends with this epic moment. The last 2 minutes of this piece are just epic progressive metal at its best, with some firework drumming from Santeri Saksala. Just incredible work all the way around, some great vocal moments. There's a really unique expert prog guitar solo about 6 minutes into the piece that really blew me away. It's really interesting and different, but still is listenable and expresses the emotion that the song's going for. So it's a darker vibe. You've got to like your prog a little bit darker to enjoy this record, but if you're allowed to open your mind to it, it's just a really well done record with great instrumentation, great players here. They're able to hook into a great groove and bring you along for this dark melancholy ride with some heavier moments, with some lighter shades. It's all just expertly crafted, and one of my favorite releases in this genre for the year. I think this is a really expert release that everyone should pay attention to, much along the lines of the Caligula's Horse record from earlier, Charcoal Grace. I think it's on a similar level, and I just really had a lot of fun with it, so I hope you guys will go check it out. This has been a great review. Hope you guys have enjoyed it and that you'll stick around for future content, and that wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, that you're just enjoying the music. So thank you guys, and I'll hopefully catch you in a future episode. Bye, everybody.